We're live, players. We are live. Late mat bolo. Shubho Joy Sinha, late mat bolo. It's 9 p.m. and I'm live at the moment. Late mat bolo. Shubho Joy, please eat up your words. Please take back your words. Will you? How's it going, guys? What's up? Tejas Pai, yaar, tum log late bole ja rahe ho. I'm live right now. Guys, I'm live. It's 9 p.m. It's 9 p.m. Indian Standard Time. It's not Indian Stretchable Time according to me. It's Indian Standard Time. So Tejas, please take back your words as well, just like Shubho Joy will be taking back his words very, very soon. What's up, guys? Vishnu, Raval, hello, Anubhav, sir. Vishnu, देखो मेरी एक pet peeve है. You know, ज़्यादा pet peeves नहीं है life में, एक pet peeve है. Please, sir, मत बुलाओ. I know I've turned 29 and you know, दाढ़ी आजकल सफेद हो रही है धीरे-धीरे. Snowflakes दिख रहे हैं. You know, बाल भी झड़ रहे हैं. इसलिए आजकल एक different hairstyle, you know, अपनाना पड़ रहा है. Just so that you know, I can actually make sure that those spots aren't exposed. But sir, mat bolo yaar, you know, I'm like a brother, a big brother. Rajavardhan Shendge, hello Anubhav 6136. What does the 6136 in your name imply? Tell us, please. Random guy, hey Anubhav, if you could go back in time, would you change anything or do anything differently? Any regrets? Lots of regrets, bro. Lots of regrets. We'll definitely go over some of them. Okay. Regrets nahi bolunga, you know, I'll give you like the cliched answer ki they aren't regrets, and you know, people say you either win or you learn. But maybe some things that I would do drastically differently, you know, if I could go back in time. Can you please share your learning pathway and which course or book I need to dive into first, such that I get a good amount of knowledge in finance, like where to start from? वो करेंगे. बात करते हैं, bro. Let's you know, the purpose of this live stream, we'll see in which direction the live stream goes. You know, typically what happens with my live streams is that we start in one direction, then move in like multiple different directions, you know, like a headless chicken. We'll see what direction this goes in, but let's keep the theme very casual, very conversational. We're catching up after a long time. Of course, I want to take up as many questions as possible, but I want to hear from you guys as well. You know, tell me what you guys have been up to. Kya chal raha hai life mein? It's the 29th of December. We're closing in on another year. We're about to start a new year, embark upon a new year. Tell me about your goals, your resolutions for 2022. Is it new year, new you, or is it going to be the same you? Anvesh Singh, Siu. Let's do the Siu right now. Let's do the Siu. Okay, let's do the Siu. Siu. Dude, I've been fucking doing that Siu celebration at the gym as well. You know, अभी मैं gym से आया. आज वो demonstrate नहीं किया gym में, but previously, you know, last week, a couple of weeks back, whenever I smash like a set of, especially if it's like squats or deadlifts, you know, something that entails heavy lifting, I get so pumped up, so excited, or so happy. You know, the high that stems from you smashing something as challenging as squats or deadlifts makes me go, Siu, at the gym. Pulkit Khanna, hello, sir. Nice to see you. Pulkit, you didn't get the memo. The same memo that I'd sent to Vishnu Raval, who said, hello, Anubhav, sir. Sir is not allowed. Okay? The word sir is banned, at least as it pertains to, you know, referring to me. Shubho Joy, sorry. I remember mazak kara tha, Shubho Joy. You know, it was tongue in cheek, tongue firmly in cheek. Vicky Dextro, hey Anubhav. Prasad Mali, hey Anubhav. You're good. Prasad, are you flirting with me right now? You're good as well. I'm kidding. I want to talk to you, bhaiya. I love you too, Ansh. Ansh, तुम्हारा नाम मैं काफी देखता हूँ on my channel. Thank you so much for all your comments and everything. You know, I don't have too many strengths, but I've got a good memory and a self-deprecating sense of humor as well, if you know what I mean. But Ansh, I do come across your name a lot on a lot of my videos. So really appreciate all your lovely comments, your heartfelt comments. They mean a lot to me. They seriously do mean a lot to me. And I'm not kidding. Dekho, sabke, you know, every single day is not the smoothest day. Sometimes you might be down and out. Sometimes you might be like, fuck yaar, life mein, you know, kuch chal nahi raha, momentum nahi ban raha. Sometimes I just look at my YouTube comments, and of course, koi kadve comments aate. There's a lot of vitriol that's dished out in me as well. Because whatever, I love banter, right? I love dishing out banter, so I should be able to take some banter as well. But for the most part, you know, 95% of the comments that do come in are beautiful, and you're a big contributor to the 95% as well, Ansh. So thought about pointing that out. Thank you so much, mate. तेजस साले रुक जा इतना मत खुल जा तुम लोग भी एक दूसरे के साथ बात करो यार. You know, this is meant to be a community, so it's not just like an interaction between us, but it should be an interaction between you guys as well. भाई शादी कब कर रहे हो? देखो मम्मी अब तक ऑफिस से आई नहीं है, लेकिन जब मम्मी ऑफिस से आ जाए तो मैं उनको बोलूंगा ये क्वेश्चन आंसर करने के लिए, ठीक है? अगर अगर मम्मी का कहना माना होता देन अब तक शादी हो गई होती, मे बी बच्चे भी हो गए होते, बट दैट्स नॉट द केस. बट मे बी विद इन द नेक्स्ट कपल ऑफ इयर्स, they say 32 33 has become the new 25, so I'm taking advantage of that change, but maybe early 30s तक कर लूंगा. I look forward to getting married as well. आजकल काफी लिबरल बच्चे हो गए हैं जो शादी में बिलीव नहीं करते हैं, बट उस हिसाब से मेरे काफी बिलीफ सिस्टम जो है ट्रेडिशनल है, काफी कंजर्वेटिव है, एंड एक्चुअली लुक फॉरवर्ड टू मैरिज. बट कब होगी आई डोंट नो, बट sooner rather than later. That's what I'll say. How is the life in tech as an engineer? Ansh, sorry. Bro, life was hard here. Life was hard. I mean, whatever you say, America mein main tha, and a lot of people who haven't quite been to America for college might feel as if, it's like a fucking party life in America. Whatever. I had my fair share of fun. Used to get absolutely hammered drunk. Used to smoke up a fair bit as well. But at the same time, look, when you're studying engineering, albeit industrial engineering, which was a much easier curriculum compared to say computer science or computer engineering or in electrical engineering, life was still difficult, dude. Life was still difficult, spending night and day at the library, pulling all-nighter after all-nighter. I used to joke in college, that my walk of shame in college was me walking from the library to my 8 a.m. class. Life was tough, but whatever. I think it definitely taught me a lot of tenacity. It gave me a lot of mental fortitude, and I think that comes in handy even now. Regardless of what you might be doing, that work ethic, that tenacity, that fortitude, that engineering life instilled in me comes in handy even now. And that's one of the reasons why I feel, no, I know it sounds really fucking cliched, and I'm not someone who likes dishing out too many cliches, but no experience is wasted as such. Every single thing that you do, be it engineering or be it investment banking or be it whatever in life, will teach you certain lessons, certain universal lessons that will come in handy regardless of what you end up doing in the future as well. Even if what you end up doing in the future is drastically different from what you might be doing right now. So it's up to you. The onus is on you to be able to extract as many gems, as many nuggets, as many life lessons from your experiences, and make them count. Make them and utilize them in the future. Dekho, mera naam Anubhav hai. Anubhav means experience, but it's a misnomer. Because I'm anything but experienced. Yeah, the only thing I'm fucking experienced at is wanking. That's it. Anyway, this is, I hope this is the same old Anubhav that Anubhav may have turned 29. It may be a new year, or we might be on the cusp of a new year, but it's always the same old Anubhav. Hi Anubhav, big fan of your work. Thank you so much, Amit bhai. Yugandhar. Oh, dude, I'm seeing your name after such a long time, mate. Good to see you. Good to hear. Not see you. It's unfortunate that I'm not seeing you, but good to hear from you. Things are good, dude. Things are good. My spending time with family. I'm in Kolkata at the moment. I was in Mumbai a couple of weeks back doing a work assignment, which kept me busy, but it was fun. When things keep you busy, it might be slightly painstaking, especially when you're like, yaar, bahut kaam karna pada hai. But when you come back home after like a long and tiring day at the office or whatever at work, and you're sitting down on your couch, that's when you feel content. You feel satisfied. You're like, fuck, it was a good day. I did put in the hard yards. So it's good, but this past week has been fairly relaxing. I've been spending time with mom. Meri behan bhi idhar hai. So Astha Jain is in Calcutta as well. So I've been spending some good time with Astha Jain, and hitting the gym, catching up on life. This last week has also entailed a lot of reflection for me. Reflection about things I want to correct or rectify going into the new year. Things I want to continue doing, as well as things I want to change. So it's been a good week. What's good with you, mate? What's good with you? I know us samay when we had caught up the last time, I remember you telling me you had secured like a few interviews and everything with some top-notch companies for some top-notch roles as well. So tell me what's good with you. Kira, hey, what's up? Saurav Das, Anubhav, mere bhai. Saurav Das, aisa lag raha hai tum Bengali ho. If you are Bengali, then let me tell you, I have a soft corner towards people who are Bengali, soft corner towards people who are fellow Calcuttans. You need not be Bengali, but whatever, people who are fellow Calcuttans. So Saurav Das, if you're Bengali, then you have extra love from me. And if you're a Bengali from Calcutta, then you have even more extra love, from me. Kundan Jaiswal, hi, how did you get to KKR? Mate, it was through Star Sports. So I reached out to a few people at Star Sports. Star Sports has a flagship show. It's called Night Club, which is the KKR themed show that Star Sports runs on their platforms. I reached out to a few people at Star Sports, sent them a few clips of mine, work that I'd done, some of my YouTube clips as well. They liked my style. They asked me to do a self audition being, ghar se audition. They gave me a couple of scenarios. You're interviewing, say, person XYZ. How would you conduct the interview? So, ek do self audition ke clips the. I recorded all of that back at home. This was quite literally 1 week before the start of the IPL. So this was all 11th hour shit. But yeah, sent in my clips. They liked what I did, and they roped me in. So it was a good phase with KKR, the first phase as well as the second phase. My performance in the second phase was substantially better compared to what my performance was like in the first phase. And I feel that break in the middle between the end of the first phase and the start of the second phase of the IPL was a blessing in disguise, not just for KKR, but for Anubhav Jain as well, the KKR insider. Niketa, hey Anubhav, I'm here. Give me your verdict. Haha. Niketa, I definitely want to give my verdict to you, but there's one condition. I want you to come face to face with me. Okay? On this stream, I have your email address. If you're game, why don't we have like a 5, 7, 10-minute chat face to face? Just, like an icebreaker leading up to the actual date. For people who need context, Niketa had commented on my community post saying, Anubhav, I'm a fellow Calcutan, by the way. How about we grab coffee together? We can call it a date. So those were Niketa's exact words. Niketa, hopefully I'm not mangling or butchering the pronunciation of your name. It is Niketa, right? Confirm that for me. But this was Niketa's proposal, and I'm completely game. But Niketa, look, I have the stream link. I'll share that with you. How about you join me, on a virtual stage, and how about we have like a 5-minute, virtual face-to-face conversation? Are you game for that? Yes, it is, Niketa. Lovely. So you've said yes to this. Do you say yes to my other question as well? Let me know, Niketa. I'll be looking from the corner of my eye for your comment. If you're game, then you can join me. We can have a 5-minute chit chat. Why not? I've done something similar on my Instagram, by the way. There was this one time I did an Instagram live, and I should probably do more of that because I fucking enjoyed it. I really, really, really enjoyed it. This was like an IG live that I'd done, and I'd asked people to actually send requests to join the live. And I was accepting, requests very randomly, and was having like a 5-minute, 7-minute, 10-minute conversation with someone. And then that person was leaving, and that person was being replaced by someone else. It went on for like 1.5 hours, but I fucking loved it. It's still on my IG. Beautiful conversations with, people whose names I might be familiar with because they're subscribers on my channel. They comment on my channel, but I was seeing the faces for the first time. And, it's very different when you see someone's face, it's very different. And look, the times are such, glad that things are opening up at the moment, but because of COVID and whatnot, times, as I said, things are virtual, and I'm someone who actually thrives in settings when I'm sitting in person, as opposed to these barriers being present, and as opposed to us having to communicate very passively in the form of Zoom and whatnot. Janvi says, I wanted to join that Insta live too. Then Janvi, why didn't you join? I was waiting for your request. I kept saying that, guys, I'm going to be sexist during this IG live, and I'm going to prefer women to men. But such is my luck that 99% of all the requests that I got were from men. And so I was honestly spoiled for choice as it pertained to picking men, but I just didn't have enough choices as it pertained to picking women. But Janvi, please make amends the next time I do one of these IG lives, and I would love to have a conversation with you face to face, albeit virtually. Or dekhte hai what is happening between Virat and Ganguly about captaincy. Bro, Rakesh, I don't know. I look, you know this. I have a massive crush on Virat Kohli, and so I respect sort of Ganguly a lot, but I still feel there was disrespect that was meted out to Virat Kohli. You don't tell the captain of the Indian cricket team 1.5 hours before the team for the South Africa tour is meant to be announced that, boss, we will not make you the ODI captain. Plus, Virat also mentioned that, he wasn't asked to reconsider his decision to step down as T20I captain. That's what Ganguly claimed, but Virat, clarified that that wasn't the case. And so I don't know what's happening. We can only conjecture as to what's happening behind the scenes. We don't have like a proper view of things that are happening. But talking about Virat, I'm actually a bit disappointed with the fact that, he's been out of form. He sets very, very high standards for himself. And what happens is whenever you set very high standards for yourself, I'm not just talking about Virat, I'm talking about anyone, then you are almost the victim of your own good work, right? Because now you've set the benchmark very high. So even if you're performing well, but not quite up to the high benchmark that you've set, that's it. People might feel that you're, relatively speaking, you're not quite playing well. है ना? So Virat has also been like a victim of his own high standards, because people have associated these sky high standards with someone like a Virat Kohli. But whatever. The saving graces, and I was just texting a friend of mine, from school itself. We've been friends ever since I was in nursery school. Abhimanyu, he's a big cricket fan as well, big football fan, big Manchester United fan. So we have these conversations on this group, and I was telling, and we were having a conversation about the fact that, dekho, whatever, Virat has had a very dry spell in the recent past. But what's promising, the silver lining, is the fact that he's looking good. Even when he's only scoring 20, like he scored 18 in the second innings, he scored 30 or 35, I think, in the first innings. He's looked good. But he's played like a few rash shots. Hai na? Well, first innings, that ball was on 12th stump. He had absolutely no need to reach out for it. But he still did. Maybe because of the fact that, he's out of form. He's a bit extra eager to impress. So he's not quite poised. Someone like someone like a KL Rahul. So he's maybe a bit too eager, but that's also Virat's style. Virat ka style ye hai ki whenever he has his backs against the wall, right, he will counter attack. He feels if my back is against the wall, the only way in which I can move is forward, right? If I've hit rock bottom, the only way in which I can move is up. So that's Virat's style. It's counter attacking. If India might be in a spot of bother, say for instance, India might be 10 for 2, right? And Virat Kohli is out in the middle. Virat Kohli won't be very conservative. If anything, even if he's playing in hostile conditions in Australia, facing the likes of Pat Cummins, Joshie Hazlewood, Mitchell Stark, Nathan Lyon, he'll still like punch, counter-attacking innings khelta hai. That's Virat Kohli for you. But you live by the sword, you die by the sword. Anyway, that was a long-winded answer to your question, but I hope you enjoyed it, Rakesh Reddy. एक और क्रिकेट का क्वेश्चन लेंगे. आई एम वेरी कॉग्निसेंट ऑफ द फैक्ट दैट नॉट एवरीवन माइट बी अ क्रिकेट फैन हियर. एक और छोटा सा क्रिकेट का क्वेश्चन लेते हैं, ओनली बिकॉज़ आई सॉ अ नेम that means a lot to me, Pat Cummins. One of the reasons being the fact that he's come on my podcast, and in general, he's just a class act, an absolute class act. Shiv asking me, hey Anubhav, what are your thoughts on Pat Cummins setting the Ashes on fire? I think I answered the question by saying that he's an absolute gem of a bowler. Pat Cummins can't seem to do anything wrong. He's had a brilliant 2021, not just, on the cricketing field, but off the field as well. He recently became a father, giving birth to Albie Mockle. It seems as if I have too many details about Pat Cummins' personal life. Pat Cummins, as well as Becky, his fiance, gave birth to the first child. But he's an absolute gem of a bloke, Pat Cummins, a gem of a bloke. When you speak with Pat Cummins face to face, right, he won't make it seem that he's a celebrity who's on like a fucking pedestal, or who's speaking from an elevated position. He's the most humble bloke ever, the nicest bloke ever. You'll never feel intimidated when you're with someone like a Pat Cummins. And I think that's what charismatic people do in general. Charismatic people are very confident, but at the same time, their confidence isn't such that the people who are facing them are intimidated. They make people feel very welcome. It's almost as if, you might be nervy around them, approaching them, but just a couple of sentences with them, just a couple of casual sentences with them is enough for you to actually allay your fears, to calm your nerves. And you're like, fuck, I feel at home right now. I can chat with someone like a Pat Cummins like he's my fucking chuddy buddy. That's the beauty about people who are charismatic, they make you feel very comfortable in their presence. But yeah, dude, I mean, England, they've been woeful, absolutely woeful. But whatever, I mean, credit where credit is due. Australia have been absolutely fantastic as well. And even the new kids, like the Boland guy, picked up 6 wickets in the second innings in the last test match. But Australia on fire. It's definitely going to be a 5-0 rout. The writing is on the wall for England. It's going to be a 5-0 rout. बहुत सारे comments आए हैं. What happened after the pregnancy prank? Nothing happened. My mom had a very good laugh. Tejas ka ye question hai, in case you guys don't know. Some of you might not know, but there was a video that I uploaded on my channel. This was about a couple of weeks back or 3 weeks back, where the video was titled pranking my Indian mother, something along those lines. I'm misremembering right now, but beautiful video. Kuch nahi hua. After that, we had a good laugh. A lot of people felt that it was the video was fake, it was planned, this, that. look, I don't want to be defensive here. I'm answerable to fucking no one, right? I'm answerable to no one. I know my conscience. I know my intention. The only thing that I'll say is, oftentimes you might see, based upon some of the videos that I have on my YouTube, in which my mom features, you might see some of the reels in which my mom features. You might be a bit astonished, astonished maybe in a good way, maybe in a bad way, depending upon what your relationship with your mother is like. Astonished about my relationship with my mother. And I was at the gym earlier today, and I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, Ankit, and I was telling Ankit, "Ki, bro, one of the, of course, I completely sympathize with people who've had it very difficult during COVID, right? People who've been hit financially, people who've lost their jobs, people who've lost loved ones. So taking nothing away from that, right? They have my sympathy. But for me personally, COVID was a blessing in disguise. Like whatever, the 1.5 years because of the pandemic that I had to spend time at home was a blessing in disguise for multiple different reasons. Number one, whatever, it enhanced my self-awareness. But I think a bigger reason being the fact that I spent so much quality time with my mother. So much quality time with my mother. Like I literally am best friends with my mother, best friends, and I feel very, very, very blessed. And I would tell you guys as well, if you've moved back to your homes because you might be working from home, cherish these times with your parents. Like really, really, really cherish these times with your parents. As they say, the days are long but the years are short. You don't know how time goes by. It's been nearly 2 years since the inception of COVID-19. March of 2020, early 2020 mein hua tha. Time flies. The days are long, but the years are short. So cherish the times with your parents, because they'll grow old, you'll grow old, you'll have your respective families as well, aka your wife, your husband, your children, and that's when it's going to be difficult for you to carve time out for your parents, for your loved ones. And so there's no one, maybe apart from my sister, there's no one that I love even half as much as I love my mother. And I am pretty sure, my sister might not be happy about this. I'm pretty sure there's no one my mom loves even half as much as she loves me. But it's been a beautiful relationship. We're like best of friends. There's nothing that I don't share with my mother. Yeah. Good to see you doing this after a long time. I know, Ashish. I've been very fickle and very volatile with YouTube. And to be completely honest, one of my resolutions for 2022 is to show up on your screens. To show up on your respective screens, Ashish's screen as well as the screens of everyone else, a lot more frequently in 2022. The fag end, or the last couple of months, you could say. In terms of my presence on YouTube has been very volatile. Even my sex drive isn't fucking as volatile as my consistency or the lack thereof on YouTube these past few weeks or months. So 2022, I definitely want to make amends. I think it's been a year of change for me personally, because I think getting a role with KKR, with Star Sports, was definitely a watershed moment, and I wanted to devote as much time, energy, mind space, bandwidth to that opportunity as possible. And so if that meant neglecting YouTube to some extent, I was okay with it. But as I said, now that I feel a greater sense of belonging now in the sports media space. So I feel I can go back to devoting more time, more energy to YouTube, and that's definitely something I want to be doing in 2022. Belated birthday wishes again. Thank you so much, mate. My birthday was on the 7th of December. Thank you so much. Turned 29, for those of you wondering. No questions, but your video on becoming a sports presenter from an investment banker is really motivating. Thank you again, mate. Thank you again. Make more shorts like you used to on YouTube. They were quite good, especially the South Kolkata one. I will. My sister was telling me the same thing. My sister was telling me, why don't you do more comedy stuff? I'd like to think that, I have a funny bone. I can be funny at times, although, all jokes don't quite land well. But as Wayne Gretzky once said, the great Wayne Gretzky once said, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So I'd rather take 10 shots, miss 9 of them, but hit one, as opposed to taking 0 shots, because if you take 0 shots, then you're absolutely getting no reward. As they say, no risk, no reward. That's the fundamental principle of finance that I'm pretty sure a lot of you will be familiar with, because a lot of you, I'm guessing, are finance fiends, are finance enthusiasts on my channel. Niketa saying, you are witty, that's what makes you attractive. Niketa, save some of the compliments for the date as well. Make sure you don't end up using all of them right now. Then we might be spellbound. We might have absolutely nothing to say. We might be gobsmacked when the actual date is happening. So but jokes apart, appreciate the kind words. Your sis education. By the way, guys, can I have one request? Astha Jain is in the house right now. Astha Jain, my sister, my younger yet wiser sibling, that's how I describe it, is in the house right now. And I was telling her that she ought to at least, if not join the entire stream, maybe make a cameo appearance. A cameo appearance. You know, she's a celebrity. Yaar, uske agar 2 minute bhi mil jaye, that's like gold dust for us. Gold dust. And so please, you know, if you'd like to see Astha Jain as well joining the stream, then kuch comment karo. Hopefully, you know, she's watching right now. She might read some of the comments that are coming in, and who knows, you know, maybe the comments that are coming in are enough to goad her, to spur her, to incite her to join the stream. So in case you want to see the ugly face, I'm just kidding, I mean beautiful face of my sister, then then please comment. Thank you, Ansh, for taking the lead on this. We want Astha Jain Didi. Ansh is also saying, call Astha Jain right now, please. Then who else? Kisi aur ka bhi comment tha, I think. Akul Gupta, please call Astha. Lovely, lovely. Hey Astha, come on. Hey Astha, come on. Yaar, dekho, I was testing you guys. So I'm not enough. आस्था ही चाहिए. आस्था ही चाहिए, क्योंकि इस टीम में, you know, 4 चांद तभी लगेंगे जब आस्था जैन joins us, right? I'm not enough. I don't do a good enough job, do I? I'm kidding. I would love for Astha to join. Call auntie. Mom isn't back from the office as yet. Look, mom has been, you know, Astha and I were talking to mom the other day. पहले हम लोग मम्मी की काफी मजाक उड़ाते थे. We used to tell mom कि mom, you know, आप अच्छे से काम नहीं करिए मतलब कि you get distracted by your phone, this that. बीच में अब धर्म के तरफ चली जाती हो काम के बीच में. But now, mom has been an absolute legend when it comes to working. She's been working around the clock. रोज 12-14 घंटे काम कर रही है. She's 50 plus, right? लेकिन फुर्ती उनमें इतनी है, it shames us. It shames me. It shames my sister as well. You know, we're the young guns, or supposedly, but our energy levels pale in comparison to my mother's energy levels. मतलब she's the first one to wake up. 5:30 बजे उठ जाती है, मंदिर जाती है, मंदिर से आती है, हम लोग के लिए जो भी काम वाम करती है, किचन विचन को सजाती है. Then she goes to the office and comes back home at like 9:30, 10 o'clock, you know, after a long day at work. And she's still very energetic and, you know, partakes in conversation with us whenever she's back. तो मम्मी, आपको मेरा salute, आपको मेरा salute. इसको पता है मैं क्या करूंगा? Like the last 1.5 minutes, everything that I said, I'll just carve this snippet out and I'll share it with my mom. Then एकदम पक्का हो जाएगा कि she loves me more than she loves Astha. You know, unless Astha can come up with an ode to our mother that's more beautiful to my ode, but I doubt it. You know, because Astha is not as creative, as flattering as I can be. You know, when it comes to talking about other people. Make auntie YouTube channel. Auntie ko लाएंगे. Auntie ko mummies are superheroes. Absolutely. I keep telling mummy. You know, mummy, you are like the investment banker in the family now, because you're working like the 14-hour days plus doing other stuff on the side as well. Like she's the investment banker in the family. और मैं गया गुजरा. Have you read this book, How to Make Friends? Nikita, I've been taking too many questions from you. You better reciprocate when we actually go out. Okay? Have you read this book, How to Make Friends and Influence People? If yes, what's your opinion on that book? I'll be very honest with you. Okay? I've read the book. I can see it right now. Like, mere samne ek bookshelf and I can see the book right now. I did read the book. I read the book when I came back to India from America. This was probably late 2018, early 2019 is when I read this book. To be very honest with you, right? There was nothing in that book that I didn't quite know of, or that I wasn't quite utilizing. I feel you know, without trying to blow my own trumpet or suck my own dick, I feel I'm fairly good with people. Like I'm fairly socially talented. And that way, you know, as a conversationalist, as it pertains to the art of persuasion, influencing people, or just talking to people, I think I'm like fairly good, decently good, I'd like to think. So there weren't too many things in the book that I actually picked up. You know, it was like, okay, I know this. But it's a great book, or it would have been a great book for me to have read maybe when I was in class 10 or 11 or 12, or even maybe during my first year or second year in college, when I was still a very shy, reticent, taciturn person, when I didn't quite talk as much. You know, it was only after the second year in college that I started opening up a lot more. And I told myself that, Anubhav, boss, you're spending, not me, but my parents are spending $50,000 fucking dollars on my education abroad. You better make the most of it, venture out, come out of your comfort zone, talk to as many whatever, like foreigners is possible, Americans is possible, non-Indians is possible, in addition to, of course, talking to fellow Indians. And that really helped me. So it's a great book that it would have been a great book had I read it in high school, or maybe, during the formative years in college. That's it. But look, if you're someone, it's a classic. There's a reason it's a classic, right? So if you're someone who isn't quite as confident in social settings, when it comes to talking to people in group settings or even one-on-one settings, I think it's a book that you definitely should read. It's the Bible. It's the Bible of, whatever, becoming socially talented, becoming better with people. Dude, you are a legend. इसलिए मेरा middle name legend है सौरभ. मेरा middle name legend है. It's Anubhav legend, Jain. More like Anubhav wannabe legend. That's what most people would say. Ayush Gupta, what is the point of living? Ayush, you asked. I think you were the one who asked those 2 or 3 questions, right? In response to my community post, Ayush asked some very good questions. In fact, I have this in front of me. We'll take this question as well, but uske pehle let's take your first question. Your first question was, have you ever had a rock bottom moment? If yes, how did you deal with it? It's a good question, Ayush. Your question definitely was thought provoking and took me down memory lane, because I was it made me think about moments that have come close to being rock bottom in my life. Look, I don't mean to sound like a pessimist, because I'm not. I've become an optimist. I've worked hard on becoming an optimist. I think you can train yourself to be an optimist as well. That's what I've done. I used to be a chronic pessimist, but now I definitely see the glass half full, if not completely full. Dekho, rock bottom is, I think it's a very loose phrase. You might feel that you hit rock bottom, but it actually could get worse as well. They say hell is like a bottomless pit. You might think that you've hit rock bottom, but it could get worse as well. So I won't say rock bottom, because who knows, there might be something else, that I encounter in the future that might be worse compared to the example that I'll give you. But the closest example that I can think of as it pertains to me hitting rock bottom was this time in late 2016. So this was 6 months into my first role at Goldman Sachs. I was working on the trading floor. When I started my role at Goldman Sachs in July of 2016, I thought it was my dream job, but that dream, soon turned into a very hellish nightmare for me. I was hating my role. I was despising my role. And, I had these sky high expectations that I'm going to be the next big swinging dick and the next, Wolf of Wall Street and whatnot. But I didn't even turn out to be the popper of Wall Street, at least, 6 months into my first role. Like, the reality was actually very different compared to what the expectation was. That's one of the reasons why, I would say, on a slightly different note, I'm digressing here a bit. You shouldn't have too many expectations. Learn to temper your expectations, because as soon as there's a very big discrepancy between what you expect and what reality turns out to be, right? That's what causes angst within you. That's what causes anguish. That's what causes turmoil. And so it's good to have, I read this somewhere, it sounds whatever, it sounds a bit trite and cliched, but it made a lot of sense to me. It's good to have preferences, but not expectations, at least not too many expectations. But yeah, I'd hit rock bottom. I was drinking a lot as well, smoking a lot as well, and not just like smoking cigarettes, but smoking up as well over the weekends. Or us समय, like, this was like October, November of 2016. Us समय I felt ki, boss, what the fuck is this? Like, what has life come to? New York was getting the better of me. I was spending loads of money on like crap and everything else. But a couple of things ended up, being the turning point. One you guys might know of, because I've talked about this in previous videos of mine. One of them being the fact that I came across a video of Virat Kohli in which he was talking about how taking up fitness, completely transformed every single aspect of his life. Not just his physical appearance, but his mentality as well. He started thinking better. He started having more positive thoughts in his mind, because, like, physical fitness actually releases endorphins or feel-good chemicals in your body. So that, in a way, prompted me to experiment or take up fitness, right? Which has completely changed my fucking life, every single facet of my life. But the other thing that helped a lot was reading a book by Charles Duhigg called The Power of Habit. It's a very popular book. I'm pretty sure a lot of you have heard of it, if not actually read the book. But I read about read The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. And that's when I thought, boss Anubhav, you have all these shitty fucking habits in terms of like how much you're sleeping, what you're eating, what you're drinking. Like, what are you doing to your body? Like, what are you doing to yourself? What are you doing to your mind? You've got to clean shit up. And that book was in many ways the genesis of me adopting better habits and discarding bad habits or discarding pernicious habits. So that book helped me a lot. And uske baad, I told myself ki dekho, Anubhav, for the next like God knows how many months, like 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, you will simply, be in solitude, whatever. I'll be going to work, I'll be working on my fitness, and I will work on improving myself. I'm just going to work on improving myself. So it started with fitness. Soon, fitness ke saath, I started improving my nutrition as well, in addition to working out. Uske baad, I got the confidence to read a lot more also. And overall, I could just sense, on a daily basis that, I was making those 1% improvements every single day, those incremental steps every single day. And trust me, there's no feeling that comes even remotely close to being as thrilling, as addictive as the feeling that you're improving as a person, you're developing as a person. Even if you see like a small change, like an infinitesimal change, right? It's addictive. You're like, I want to go for more. I want to go for more. I want to go for more. Because then it instills this belief in you that I, Anubhav Jain, by virtue of my own efforts and actions, can bring about tangible change in my fucking life. And that empowers you. That empowers you to go for more and more and more. So I would say, yeah, that was probably rock bottom. But that stumbling block turned into a stepping stone in many ways because of mainly, Virat Kohli bhai and Charles Duhigg as well. That was definitely the genesis of Anubhav 2.0, Anubhav whatever, 3.0, whatever you want to call him. Yeah. Woo! Astha Di, please come on stage. Tekendra Khakkar is waiting for you. Astha Di, Astha Di, Astha Di, Astha Di, Astha Di. Just like VK is your male crush, my male crush is you. I'm blushing right now. I'm blushing. Let me hide the screen right now. I'm blushing. You see these guys? You see these? I've been lifting heavy. I've been enjoying it. Calluses, yaar. This reminds me, I got a question once. I think मुझे Instagram में DM मिला था. Shameless plug, by the way. If you don't follow me on Instagram, please do follow me on Instagram. It's Anubhav ke Anubhav. But Instagram में मुझे एक DM एक बार मिला था. And the DM was, how do I get rid of my stretch marks? And I still haven't replied to that person. But if that person is watching right now, let me reply to that person. To be completely honest, whatever scars, whatever stretch marks and other marks and bruises and calluses that you end up getting because of you putting in the hard yards at the gym and you working out, wear them as badges of honor. Don't feel ashamed of them. Do not feel guilty of them. Wear them as badges of honor, right? And every time you see them, chahe wo haath mein ho ya pair mein ho ya kahi bhi ho, right, in your private parts, they'll remind you of all the blood and the sweat and the toil that's gone into transforming you. So I would say don't be ashamed of them, wear them as badges of honor. Dude, I would love to. I actually like his content. Unlike, a few others from Faridabad, who talk about psychology and cosmology and philosophy and God knows what ology. Fucking hell, pseudo fucking intellectuals, just using big words and fancy fucking jargon to sound smart. Chod. But jokes apart, yeah, I like the guy. Shwetab. He actually makes a lot of sense. I can tell based upon his some of his content. I've actually read like parts of his book as well. The rudest book ever. It's a very, very small book, but I've read like a couple of chapters on how to think better. I can clearly tell that the guy knows how to think. He knows how to think. And I recently watched a video of his that he released on his new channel. It's called Gangster Perspectives, on his struggles with ADHD. And I watched it only because, I feel I struggle a lot with ADHD as well. And it was a 20-minute video. He's a good conversationalist. And you can tell that the guy thinks a lot, And anyone who thinks critically is someone who has my respect because it's a very difficult art. If you guys have any suggestions, let me know. And I'll definitely, go through the comment section. If not right now, then maybe later. But how do I think better? Because oftentimes what happens is, thinking is a very passive art form. It's a very passive art form. At the end of thinking, you haven't produced anything on paper. So kabhi, if you're a productivity junkie, you're always in the doing mode. Kuch karna hai, kuch banana hai, kuch likhna hai, kuch ye karna hai. And so only when you see like the final product that's tangible, that can be seen, that's perceptible in front of you, that's when you feel as if, oh, maine kuch kiya hai. But thinking doesn't lead to that. And it's very passive. So that's why for a productivity junkie, you might feel it's a waste of time. But no, like it's hard. It's hard to think. It's very difficult to sit down and just like think. Not to mention the fact that we're such impulsive fucks, the smallest distraction will grab our attention. Our attention is worse than that of a 2-year-old. It just like wavers, like everywhere, like fluctuates, oscillates. It's all over the place. So I would love to. Agar, if anyone knows Shweta personally, then please mera introduction kara do. I'll try emailing him. Maybe I can reach out to him. Maybe I'll send him a DM or something. But I would love to get the guy. What's the biggest change you've seen in your mentality from transforming your physique? Love from Canada. A couple of things, mate. One, I already touched upon briefly. The fact that, it empowers you by making you believe that I can actually change my destiny. I am in control of my destiny. Just like I was able to, pull off like a radical fitness transformation, right? I can pull off other such radical changes in my life as well. So it empowers you. It's a very empowering feeling. Uske pehle, maybe you had self-doubts. Can I pull off such a big change? You don't have energy or time to pull off too many radical transformations in your life. Plus, radical transformations, by the name itself, they're radical, they're difficult, they're outliers, they're aberrations, they're not easy. They're not everyone's cup of tea. But if you can pull off like even one radical transformation in your life, doesn't necessarily have to be fitness, could be as it pertains to anything else, any other aspect of your life that you've dearly wanted to improve for a long, long time. You've been struggling, but you've finally been able to pull it off, right? Empowers you and makes you believe that I can pull off like other things in my life as well. Everything is figure-outable, as they say. And the other thing being the fact that I had this in my mind. I'm forgetting. Mentality from transforming your physique. Ek aur cheez thi. And bro, like, to be honest, like confidence, just the fucking confidence that it gives you. I think you guys have seen that video of mine in which I talk about the fact that I was a virgin until 23 years. And one of the reasons why I was like a virgin for so long is because I just didn't have the fucking balls to seal the deal. I was good when it came to talking to women in college. I did the first 70% beautifully. But the final, sealing of the deal, I sucked at only because I was very insecure about my body, about my physical appearance. I didn't, about my shoddy physical appearance. And so, the way I describe it, the analogy that I use is that I was like a, ball mere paas hai, apni half mein. I dribble, I beat all the players, मैं midfield में पहुंच गया, midfield के बाद striker के पास पहुंच गया, then I'm 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper, then I round the goalkeeper, open goal, and I fucking decide to go back or decide to, like shoot it somewhere else and not inside the goal. That was my that's analogous to, what it was like for me with women, first 70-80% beautifully, as smooth as silk, like a hot fucking knife through butter. But then, yeah, because of my insecure body, I just couldn't close the deal. But now it's made me confident in every single facet of my life. Plus, there's something called a halo effect as well. You guys should look it up. It's a phenomenon in psychology. Basically, whenever you see someone who looks really fit, it's not limited to fitness only. It could be in other aspects of your life. But whatever, I'll use the example of fitness. Whenever you see someone who's like, good looking, well groomed, who's fit, automatically you might extrapolate or you might assume that yaar ye banda sorted hai in other aspects of life as well. So you automatically, subconsciously maybe, end up giving a bit more respect to that person. When you see one aspect of his or her life is like very sorted, you feel as if, other aspects will also be equally sorted, which might not be the case. But then you can fool people into believing that's the way, through this presence of yours. Through this larger than life personality. It's given me personality. Most importantly, it's given me the fucking confidence to express myself, dude. Express myself. And I want a few people talked about communication skills. Let me mention this. I think it's very important for me to mention this. Right now, you might feel in social settings or whenever you're having a conversation with someone, you might feel as if, I'm not being effective as a communicator because I lack communication skills. That might not be the case. It might not be the case that you actually lack communication skills. What may be true is that you just lack the confidence to express your communication skills, to express yourself. And that was me for the longest time. It's not that I didn't have the communication skills. Whatever, I've been privileged, I've been lucky, I've gone to like an English school, La Martiniere for boys. If any of you are from La Martiniere for girls or boys, then shout out to you guys. But but I didn't have the confidence to express myself. So even though, my communication skills, even if they've improved over the years, but even if they remain the same, but if my confidence to express those communication skills improved, then automatically I'm perceived as a good communicator. है ना? To think about that, it's not that simple. It's not I don't talk well because my communication skills are poor. That might be the case, but there might be other factors at play as well. The other factor being, a lack of confidence to express yourself. What is your kind of girl, Janvi? एक शब्द बोलूंगा. That's it. Janvi. What else? It's been fun so far. You guys having fun? Give me a thumbs up. The only thing, I guess, the only blemish right now is the fact that Asta Jain hasn't joined, right? Blemish for you guys, but honestly, it's a good thing for me. I don't want Asta Jain to be stealing my thunder. I'm a very insecure child that way. Very, very insecure. That's one of the reasons why, I don't like it, or the only thing I don't like about Asta Jain being in Calcutta is the fact that, my mom's attention gets diverted to some extent. All of a sudden, my mom is paying more attention to Asta. Although, the split is still 80-20 Anubhav Asta, but still, as someone who's very greedy for attention, especially my mom's attention and validation, I don't feel bad even when, I lose out on that 20%, Ha, flattered. You ought to be flattered, Janvi. What books are you reading right now? That's a good question, mate. So I've got my iPad in front of me. Let's open it up. So my reading style has changed. Like these days, I have like 200 fucking books open, and I've read like 5 or 6 pages of every single one of them. That's a good thing in some cases. That's a bad thing as well. Bad thing being the fact that I never feel as if, I've completed a book. Good thing being the fact that I don't feel as if I have to stick to one book only. Sometimes my mood might say, okay, let's read book A. My mood might be different 2 hours later, and I might be like, let's read book B. So depending upon my mood, I can, pick and choose as to which book I want to be reading. But I just opened the books app on my iPad. So the first book that you see is this one. Fucking love the guy. Absolutely love the guy. Panta. Ponting's autobiography. Fucking love the guy, dude. Absolutely love the guy. If you're a Ponting fan, then definitely watch a podcast on which he appeared recently. It's called The Great Cricketer. I'm pretty sure all you cricket junkies, may have heard of The Great Cricketer. But he appeared on The Great Cricketer, won a podcast, but it's going to be music to your ears. Absolute music to your ears. Richard fucking Ponting. And that after that podcast, after I had a boner because of Ricky Ponting, I thought about downloading his autobiography. So I've read about a couple of chapters from the autobiography, just a couple. It's a long one. It's like 600-700 pages, but so far so good. I still feel if I could pick between Sachin Tendulkar and Ricky Ponting in my playing 11, right, I would go for Ricky Ponting. Whatever, Sachin may have 100 hundreds, right? Ponting has 71. But Ricky Ponting was a captain as well. Won the 2003 World Cup for Australia. Won the 2007 World Cup for Australia. Was part of the winning team, the 1999 World Cup winning team for Australia as well. Ricky Ponting is a fucking legend. As a captain, scoring 71 hundreds. It's phenomenal. Sachin was made captain as well, but during that time, he had a very lean patch because he probably couldn't juggle everything, captaincy as well as batting. But the fact that Ponting was able to do that splendidly and still ensure that, Australia were the best side in the world by an absolute country fucking mile is a testament to the leadership qualities of Ricky Ponting, right? It was Australia followed by broad daylight, followed by the rest of the teams. That's how dominant, imperious, domineering Australia were during that time. Like, yeah, I mean, you walk into a battle with Australia, you just know you've lost. Think about it, bro. I mean, sometimes, on YouTube, kabhi 12 baje raat ko, 1 baje raat ko, I watch highlights from like, those matches in the early 2000s, 2003-4 ke aaspas. Fucking hell, mate. Ricky Ponting, Matthew Hayden, Damien Martin, Justin Langer, Adam Gilchrist. The list just goes on and on and on. The bowling as well, Glenn McGrath, Brett Lee, Absolute class acts. Absolute class acts. How to read fast? Bro, I am the slowest reader. I am the slowest reader you'll ever come across, because I think I was telling you that my attention span wavers a lot. It wavers a lot. And so it's very hard for me to actually, I need to focus when I'm reading. Like if you see me reading a book, even though it's like a story book, तुमको ऐसा लगेगा जैसे मैं कोई एक टेक्स्ट बुक पढ़ रहा हूँ. मेरे पास ये आईपैड में स्टाइलस है, मैं लिटरली ऐसे पढ़ता हूँ, ऐसे ऐसे किताब पढ़ता हूँ. Because if I don't pay like granular attention to what I'm reading, then I won't be able to understand jack shit. And so I read very, very slow. When it comes to reading faster, bro, look up some videos of Tim Ferriss. I know Tim Ferriss is a big proponent of something called speed reading. He's created some YouTube videos which have gone viral as well, talking about speed reading and talking about how you can become a speed reader. So maybe look it up. But yeah, not my cup of tea. Any plans for another communication skills workshop? Let's definitely do it, Ansh. Let's do it. I was speaking with a buddy of mine, Varmit. If you're watching, then shout out to you. And Varmit also suggested that, Anubhav, why don't you do a second communication skills workshop? You know, first one was a big success, There were close to 100 people who ended up joining the first one. Zoom में मेरी limit भी 100 people की थी, you know, so I nearly hit the limit, and got very, very good feedback from that. Very, very good feedback, and some constructive criticism as well, you know, which I'll definitely incorporate into the next version of this communication skills workshop. So let's definitely do it. I've done one on communication skills, I've done one on professional development in general, and I recently did one on fitness. So yeah, let's maybe, you know, go back, come full circle, start again from communication skills. We'll do it in the near future. How many of you, any others who are keen on perhaps attending a workshop on communication skills sometime in the near future? If you are, let me know in the comment section. If I see enough interest coming from you guys, then it's something that I'll start planning. You know, I'll make sure I put my ducks in a row for this next workshop, and it's going to be even bigger, even better than the first version was. Me, thank you, Tovin, thank you. Cool. और क्या क्या चल रहा है? Your 2022 resolutions, Param. Thank you so much. By the way, okay, Param, thank you for the question, but also a shout out to, I have the names present here. Shout out to Tejas as well as Mohammad Afan, Tejas Pai and Mohammad Afan, who asked me the same question in the comment section of my community post, New Year's resolution. Dekho, boss, I'll be very honest with you. I'll be very, very honest with you. 2021 mein, my resolution was, going into 2021, my resolution was, Anubhav, you know what? It's going to be a year of no fap. I will not be fapping in 2021. Not be fapping. Reality turned out to be the complete opposite. I broke all my fapping records in 2021. Broke all of them. Left, right, and center. Didn't break them. I shattered them. Absolutely shattered all my fapping records in 2021. So now, अब मैं एक उल्टी strategy use करूंगा 2022 में. My goal for 2022 is to fap. Just fap. That's what I'm going to be doing. Just fucking fap. I'll be fapping to no fap. That's what I'll do for 2022. And who knows? The outcome might be the opposite, in which case I actually end up not fapping in 2022. But the goal going into 2022 is to fap as much as possible in 2022. The other resolution being the fact that I mentioned this at the very start of the live stream. I definitely want to be a lot more consistent with my YouTube content. Definitely want to show up on your screens a lot more often. Do more of these live streams as well. I think a couple of you commented in a couple of you sent in comments in response to the community post of mine, even in the live stream, saying do more live streams. Let's definitely do more live streams. That's something that I want to be doing. And my third one, which is very important, is also something that I ought to mention, which is to become a name to reckon with within the domain of sports presenting. I want to become like a bigger name, like a name that people recognize. Ki haan, Anubhav Jain ko main janta hu. You know, he's a sports presenter. I've seen him on these shows. So I definitely want to become a name to reckon with within the field of sports presenting. और देखो, अगर आप लोग की अच्छी wishes है, if I have your positive support, then माशाल्लाह, इंशाल्लाह, ये सपने पूरे हो जाए, है ना? Law of attraction. Where are you? Law of attraction? I visualized all of this. Where are you? Now it's time for you to do your job. Now I can just sit back and relax because I have just visualized all of this. That's how the law of attraction works, right? You just fucking visualize something and that's it. Then you can just tap all day, sit back and relax, do absolutely jack shit, and things will come true. That's how the law of attraction works, right? Law of attraction. Now over to you to do your work. Fucking love it. Fucking love it. Love it. Love it. Next, GK. Absolutely love Gaurav Kapoor. He's an entertainer. You know, Gaurav Kapoor is an entertainer. A lot of the other presenters, with due respect to them, a lot of the other presenters sound very cliched. You know, they sound too formal. They sound as dry as a bone. But the beautiful thing about Gaurav Kapoor is, you know, he can entertain you in any show. In any show. And you know, there's one thing I ought to mention this. You know, whenever I think of Gaurav Kapoor, I think of a lesson that I picked up from him. I was listening to an interview that Beer Biceps had done with Gaurav Kapoor. You know, like a small, like 20-minute interview on his channel. This was like 2 or 3 years back. And Gaurav Kapoor had mentioned something which has had a very, very, very profound impact on me. Gaurav Kapoor said, I take my work very seriously, but I don't take myself all that seriously. And there's a distinction, you know, there's a distinction. So you can tell that, you know, he's someone who swallowed his ego. He doesn't take himself all that seriously, but he's someone who takes his work very seriously. And I keep reminding myself of that, you know, especially when I'm getting like too worked up about life, or too worked up about like the nitty gritty details in life. I remind myself, Anubhav, don't take yourself all that seriously, mate. Nothing. You're like a fucking speck of dust. You're nothing. You're absolutely nothing. You're going to die one day. And like 60, 70 years down the line, no one's going to even fucking remember you. No one's going to remember you. The universe is billions of years old, right? You live for like 70, 80, 90 years at most. You're like literally like a firefly, like nothing, a drop of water in an ocean. And so that helps me in swallowing my ego to some extent, you know. So don't take yourself too seriously. Definitely take your work very seriously. Something I learned from Gaurav Kapoor. Speaking of legends like Gaurav Kapoor. मैं हूँ डॉन. मैं हूँ डॉन. मैं हूँ डॉन. मैं हूँ Hello, Asta Jain. It's always lovely seeing you. Okay, before we start a conversation, can I just drum rolls? Thank you so much, Janvi saying hi, Asta. Janvi, you know you're
hi,
using
Janvi.
using these heart emojis for Asta. I never got any of those heart emojis. Again, you know, the insecure kid in me, making my insecurity known to you. Then Kartike Mehra saying drum rolls. मुझे तो drum rolls मिले नहीं जब मैं enter किया. Asta तुम ही बोलो यार, मुझे defend करो please.
क्या defend करे?
अरे डिफेंड करो, मतलब इन द सेंस कि टेल पीपल यार मुझे भी ड्रम रोल्स नेक्स्ट टाइम दो, मुझे भी हार्ट्स दो, मुझे कभी मिलते नहीं ये सब.
It's for special people, Anubhav. Special things reserved for special people.
Special people. Janvi sending you more. Oh my God. Is this for me, Janvi?
I think that's for you. I think that's for
me?
you, Anubhav.
You
get 3, in fact, except the yellow. The yellow hearts, not the red ones.
दिल बाग हो गया, दिल मेरा बाग हो गया. देख रहे हो लोगों, आजकल हिंदी भी improve करने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ.
अच्छा, Anubhav, I have a question for you. You said you only live for 70, 80 years. That's why it helps tame your ego. Now, what happens if you start living to be 100 or 120?
The reason Asta is asking me this question is because she's become you know, some of you might know this if you follow her on Instagram. What is your Instagram handle, Asta? Live Longer World.
No, that's my Twitter. It's Longevity Future.
Longevity Future on
yes.
Instagram. And Asta has also started a YouTube channel very, very recently. And you know, her YouTube channel, given the fact that it's only been a few weeks or maybe a couple of months or so, she's been doing really well in terms of, you know, putting out content. She's been a lot more frequent than I have been, you know, a lot more consistent than I have been as it pertains to putting out content. So Asta, kudos to you. But if you haven't subscribed to Asta's channel, do so. If you want to inflict torture upon yourself, that is, I am kidding. It's called Live Longer World. She talks a lot about longevity science, and so there's the context for you. You know, Asta talked about the fact that, you know, you could be living 90, 100, 110, 120 years. Asta's you know, completely sold on longevity science. और आजकल बहनचोद नहीं बोलना चाहिए, स्पेशली आस्था के सामने, घर में बस हम लोग को longevity के ऊपर ज्ञान मिलता है. कुछ भी करो, you know, कुछ भी करो, नहीं अनुभव, तुमको इस टाइम पे नहीं उठना चाहिए,
I'm
इस टाइम
looking
पे
for
उठना
these
चाहिए,
drugs.
तब तुम्हारी लाइफ स्पैन बढ़ जाएगी। ये नहीं खाना चाहिए, ये खाना चाहिए, तब तुम्हारी लाइफ स्पैन बढ़ जाएगी। देखो उसके पास ये सब
Oh.
सप्लीमेंट्स एंड ड्रग्स वग्स ये सब रखे हुए, हम लोग को बोलती है खा लो। वी तो ट्रस्ट हर ब्लाइंडली बिकॉज व्हाटएवर, अनकंडीशनल फेथ, अनकंडीशनल लव है आस्था आस्था के प्रति। बट आई गॉड नोज यार क्या क्या साइड इफेक्ट्स होगा इसकी ड्रग्स वग्स के।
Trust me, Anubhav.
मम्मी आ गए क्या आस्था? मुझे तो मालूम नहीं, सात्विक इज आस्किंग वेयर इज मॉम, मम्मी आ गई है?
No, Mama's still not here.
अच्छा
Maybe she'll make a special appearance at the end as well.
man, we need vlogs, your channel is becoming boring, Harshit, Harshit। ठीक है ठीक है ठीक है, पॉइंट नोटेड, पॉइंट नोटेड, पॉइंट नोटेड। जैसे मैं बोलते रहता हूँ गाइस, यू हैव टू बी एज रेडिकली ऑनेस्ट विथ मी एज पॉसिबल, है ना? अगर प्रेज मिलती है तो उसके साथ क्रिटिसिज्म भी मिलनी चाहिए, राइट? तो पॉइंट नोटेड, पॉइंट नोटेड। लेकिन दिल टूट गया हर्षित, आई एम किडिंग, आई एम किडिंग। और बोलो आज तक क्या चल रहा है? हाउ इज योर वर्कआउट सेशन? वाज इट फन?
Workout session was fun. It was, I did legs yesterday, but I did a bit more of legs today, and it was all over the place. So it was okay. It was good. It was an intense session, but it was a little all over the place. Did a
अच्छा
bit of
ये
high
बोलो,
intensity tabata at the
सबको
end.
सबको बोलो, सबको बोलो, देखो तुम कलकत्ता इंडिया आ रही हो बहुत बहुत दिनों के बाद, आई थिंक 1 साल के बाद तुम इंडिया आ रही हो। व्हाट्स इट बिन लाइक? ओ तुमको हिंदी समझ में आ रही है कि नहीं समझ में आ रही है? इंग्लिश में बात करना पड़ेगा क्या?
हिंदी एक टू आ रही है। ओ सॉरी,
एक टू
बांग्ला
एक।
था वो। हाँ।
आस्था कम ऑन यार, ये ड्रग्स का यही इफेक्ट है यार, भूल जाती हो क्या हिंदी है क्या बंगाली है, ये सब ड्रग्स कम लिया करो, समझ रही हो? ओ माय गॉड आस्था। बट दिस इज योर चांस टू रोस्ट मी बैक एज पीपल आर सेइंग। लेकिन व्हाट्स इट बीन लाइक आस्था these past few days, weeks in India? How's the return been? Does this feel like a homecoming, or do you now consider America to be your home? Have you become a complete American? Your fake American accent is definitely, doing the rounds in this house, much to my chagrin and much to the dismay of our beautiful mother as well. But tell us about, humor all of us. Tell us about what it's been like. Also, let me point out before I hand over the reins to Astha. Let me point out ki this is the first time I'm doing like a proper catch up with Astha. To be completely honest, she's become very pricey and whatnot
It's
with the
because
time.
Anubhav doesn't have time, so the only time I can chat with him is during his live stream.
No,
I thought,
it's
why not
definitely
bother him?
it's definitely the other way around. But Asta, go on, humor us. The stage is yours before people start complaining. Let her talk. Let her talk. Let her talk.
In
Wait, 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 wait,
India's
wait. Mic drop. Mic drop.
boom.
Go.
Well, I was here last time in Feb. I was here in Feb, so this time around it wasn't as much of a shock. Still as overwhelming as ever, though. I went around India this time: Bombay, Udaipur,
Continue
Jaipur.
talking. I'm just taking a
I
piss. I'm going to
forgot
be back. I'm going to be
how
back in 30 seconds. Continue talking. I'm taking a piss. Okay.
forgot how crowded India is. Extremely overwhelming. In fact, I mean, one of my pet peeves, or I guess the thing I don't like about it, is that there's so much noise that I can barely think. I have no mind space here in India. I was reflecting on what my thoughts used to be when I was back in high school, and then when I was roaming around India, I realized, oh shit, maybe I had no thoughts because it's so overwhelming and noises and crowded all over. But otherwise, it's been good. I'm getting homemade food, so that's been quite fun. What other what other questions do you guys have? My time from US to Calcutta. This is why I need Anubhav to be the entertainer. I'm not the talker in the family. Anubhav's the big talker. Career switch to finance roadmap, learning pathway. Um, as in Rajvardhan, you want to switch to finance? Anyway, I cannot cook Satvik. No, I cannot cook. My Monica D is feeding me delicious food here. Did I
Asta, were
shift
you?
permanently to the US? No. Well, if your question is, did I shift permanently to India? No, I have not.
Thank God.
Anubhav,
Thank God. Party. Where's the party tonight? Somewhere down the road. Where's the party tonight? On the dance floor. Oh, sapno ke dil hai sapan. Asta, you haven't shifted permanently to India. I want to get
that's right.
into Wharton. I want to get into Wharton for BS in finance. Yeah, Ansh, I want to become Prime Minister of India. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding, mate. I'm kidding. I like to shoot this shit, right? No offense intended, no harm, no foul. My intention is always crystal clear. That's what I claim it to be. Uh, अनुभव प्लीज ब्रो आज आज देखो करियर स्विच टू फाइनेंस रोड मैप बाद में टैकल करते हैं राजवर्धन पक्का बाद में टैकल करते हैं आज मजा आ रहा है फ्लो में मजा आ रहा है कॉन्वर्सेशन कर रहे हैं तो सीरियस बातें करेंगे उसको अभी बैक पॉकेट में रख देते हैं पहले भी फ्रंट पॉकेट में जो माल है उसको इस्तेमाल करते हैं ठीक है आस्था हु इज यंगर तुम ही बोल दो
Who looks younger?
in terms
Well,
of
I guess
spirit
Anubhav
in terms of spirit and energy and
behaves
enthusiasm
Anubhav behaves like he's younger, probably more immature, but
wrong
I'm
answer
younger.
wrong answer the
What's
youngest
my
is
biological age?
the youngest is mummy dear. Mummy dear is the youngest. Look younger. Who looks younger? Do I look younger? Does Astha look younger? Bolo, guys. What do you think? What do you think?
Astha any day
What
is
do you
what
think? Who
Satvik
looks
says.
younger? Anubhav is definitely younger. Thank you. For a change, I'm getting some, I'm getting some compliments at the expense of Astha Jain. Nothing that makes my day like compliments directed at me at the expense of Astha Jain.
Anubhav.
Huh? When are you making a video on how to grow a healthy beard? Sorry if it felt bad. I meant honestly the USP of your channel, that is humor, roasting serious topics. It is not being seen recently. Are, I did not feel bad, bro. What are you saying? मैं मजाक कर रहा था. I did not feel bad. I keep telling you guys on this channel, bro. I mean, be radically honest with you. I am very radically honest. I'm politically incorrect as well, as you can probably tell from most of my videos. So yeah, as I said, if I can give out fucking banter, then I ought to, take some banter, constructive criticism, and whatnot. Making a video on how to grow a healthy beard. My beard is looking better, right? My beard is looking better. I am not kidding. Over the past year and a half, and sorry, Asta, I might bore you for a minute and a half, but I'll get you in very soon. For the last 1.5 years, ever since like the start of the pandemic, or maybe a few months into the pandemic, I have taken care of my beard like I would be taking care of my future children. I'm not kidding. If I can take half as much care of my future children as I've taken care of my beard these past like 1.5 years or so, then my future children will be lucky as fuck to have me as the father. Yeah, like very very lucky. But yeah, I'll maybe make a video on it. I honestly feel the beard has changed my life in ways that I didn't even think it would. Not just in terms of physical appearance. I get a few compliments every now and then from the ladies. And when I say ladies, I'm referring to my sister and my mother. Kidding. But I'm
Maybe
glad.
just your mother.
Roasted. Good, Asta. Like a comeback from you was long overdue. But Asa, your 2 cents. How do you grow a healthy beard? You clearly have been rocking a beard in the recent past. What are your tips?
Yeah, similar to you, I think. Just taking care of it like it's your baby. Most people go with plants or pets or dogs or cats, but I guess beard is one new novel way to do it.
Asta, good question for you. When it comes to relationships and love and partnerships and whatnot, you are definitely the more experienced campaigner. Albeit the younger sibling. So I think you ought to answer this question. What qualities do you look for in your future partner? And this may differ. This is very subjective. Different people want different things, different strokes for different folks. But what about you, Asta?
I'm not looking for a future partner. Found one.
Huh? Oh, so it's your right hand as well, just like it is for me.
Oh gosh, Anubhav.
Jeez, I should not be making these jokes with my sister.
You
Anubhav,
should not.
come on, give me a break, Anubhav. आस्था की YouTube चैनल का नाम आस्था चलो. This gives you the license to blow your own trumpet. अपना प्लीज बिगुल बजाओ. ये भी रिसेंटली फ्रेज में सीखा. बिगुल बजाओ, blow your own trumpet. थोड़ी अपनी खुद की पब्लिसिटी करो. काफी जन देख रहे हैं. By काफी I mean 63 people. But बोलो.
It's called Live Longer World. My website is the same thing. It's livelongerworld.com. So you'll find all the resources there. It's my YouTube, my newsletter, which is more focused on how you can optimize your health using science-backed tips. And my YouTube is mostly my podcast right now, where I speak with researchers in the field of longevity science, if any of you are interested. You'll also find the podcast on other channels, but livelongerworld.com is my website, and my YouTube is the same.
एक सेकंड मैडम, एक सेकंड मैडम, यू नो, दो बार
Bolo, bolo,
पॉडकास्ट
bolo.
वर्ड यूज हुआ, एक बार पॉडकास्ट था और एक बार पॉडकास्ट था. सही क्या है बॉस, ये समझना हम लोग को. सही क्या है, पॉडकास्ट है कि पॉडकास्ट है?
सही क्या है, मे बी डिफरेंट भाषा में, डिफरेंट लैंग्वेज में, डिपेंडिंग ऑन माई मूड, फेक अमेरिकन एक्सेंट वर्सेस इंडियन में, डिफरेंट डिपेंडिंग ऑन द कॉन्टेक्स्ट.
ये पॉडकास्ट ना अमेरिका के लिए तुम रिजर्व करो. अभी इंडिया में हो तुम व्हेन इन रोम अपनाओ, ठीक है? व्हेन इन रोम इधर पॉडकास्ट है भाई. पॉडकास्ट ना जब अमेरिका चली जाओ उधर यूज करना.
ठीक है, चलो थोड़ा हिंदी में ही बात कर लेते हैं फिर.
Give us Bumble tips ASAP. This is what I would say. This is what I would say. At the start of end of 2020 and the start of 2021, I was actually going through a very purple patch on Bumble. And I mean this very humbly. But I'll tell you what worked for me. By the way, I've created a video as well. I've created a video on best tips for Bumble and Tinder. It's like a long video, 20 minutes long. It's quite literally like a handbook, you know, like the A to Z of mastering Bumble, mastering Tinder. So definitely look at the video, but I'll sum it up, I'll sum it up for you. I would say, dude, honestly, what a lot of people do is in their profile, or even, when they're having a conversation with people, a lot of people feel as if, oh, I ought to hide my quirks. I ought to hide my idiosyncrasies. But it's your quirks that make you special, dude. It's your quirks that make you unique. Right? If you don't express your unique characteristics, although those unique characteristics may be very quirky, right? Then you're going to be cut from the same cloth. You're going to be like every other fucking Tom, Dick, Harry, Raj, Simran. And so have the confidence to express your unique quirks. They might be silly for some people, but a lot of people might appreciate you for the fact that, you have the confidence to express your quirks. So I'm very quirky in general. And a lot of people, throw shade on me for claiming that I'm someone who's always putting on a facade and who's not being authentic, and I'm always like acting and this and that. But this is my fucking nature, dude. I'm not answerable to any of them. Whatever, they can fuck off. I'm not answerable to any of them. But this is me. Like, for the most part, high energy, saying whatever the fuck I want to be saying, bubbly, quirky. And if people think that this is me being fake, then so be it. As I said, not answerable to them. But yeah, instead of hiding or stifling my quirks, expressing them has done wonders for me. Asta, tips from you as well?
Tips from me using, I think, similar to what you said.
But you haven't used any of these apps, right? I was testing you because if you, you better not have used any of these apps. You better not have used any of these apps. समझियो, जो भी तुम बड़ी हो गई हो, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि मैं possessive नहीं हूँ अभी भी. समझियो? हाँ?
Sorry, I haven't used anything, Anubhav.
अभी literally तुम 50 मीटर दूर हो मेरे से. उधर आ जाऊंगा अगर ज्यादा बदतमीजी की.
I think you like this question from Avinash. When did you get into sports? I feel the same passion as you express is the best thing ever.
Since I was in my diapers. Since I was in my diapers, I've been addicted to sports. And Astha knows this. The only three things that I used to do up until the time I graduated high school, up until the time I finished class 12, the only three things that I did: study, watch sports, and jerk off. The only three things that I did. I swear to God, nothing else that I did. Watching sports ever since I was in my diapers. Watching Manchester United since pretty much the 2001 season. I bought my first original Manchester United jersey in 2003. We made a trip to Singapore. I bought the Vodafone kit. You'll see a picture of me wearing it on my Instagram, from those days. मैं उस समय like थोड़ा ज़्यादा chunky था. I had this mohawk because I was trying to copy David Beckham. But this is David Beckham's last season at Man United. And I bought that jersey. And I still have it. Asta knows it as well because I'm saving it for my future son/future daughter. When the son or the daughter, or let's just say child, for convenience sake, when the child comes out of the child's mother's womb, then instead of wrapping the child in a towel, I'm going to be wrapping the child in that Manchester United kit.
The fourth thing you forgot was eating and stealing my chocolates.
Oh, हाँ, वो तो अभी भी करता हूँ. अब अधिक उल्टा हो गया. अब उल्टा हो गया. अब आस्था
Peanut butter.
बहुत खाती रहती है आजकल. मजाक कर रहा है आस्था. आजकल ज्यादा मतलब वेट के बारे में ज्यादा कुछ बोल नहीं सकते. दुनिया काफी सेंसिटिव हो गई है. who knows, कल फैट शेमिंग का एलिगेशन का बदनाम मेरे ऊपर लग जाए. Oh, sorry for using the F word, guys. I use the word fat. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Maaf kar dena. Maaf kar dena. But this reminds me. Asta, this you might find this interesting as well. I came across a quote from this comedian. His name is Chris Stefano, and he summed it up beautifully. He was describing the the hypersensitive society, like the hair trigger sensitivity that people have these days. And he said, earlier actions used to speak louder than words, but now words speak louder than actions. Like people, it's such a shame, it's such a pity that people draw full-blown conclusions just based upon a few words, in written form or whatever, like expressed verbally. It's such a shame. Like, I think you ought to try and understand what the intention of the fucking person is. Like, more weight should be put on the intention of the person as opposed to what you read or what you hear. But such are the times, who am I to be changing the times?
I think it's probably, hopefully, a cycle we're going through. The world goes in these cycles of bubbles and craziness, and probably back to rationality for a bit. So hopefully, we'll be back to our senses sooner than
Yeah.
later.
Yeah, too many snowflakes, bro. I used the F word already. Now you're making me use the S word as well. Ab to pakka. The good thing is, I'm still very, very, very small in terms of whatever, like my presence on social media. Ek din, hopefully, agar tum log ki dua hai, agar Bhagwan ki dua hai, then bada banunga. So right now, I'm uncancelable. No one can cancel me because whatever, I'm still fucking trivial and inconsequential. But ek din, hopefully, bada aadmi banunga. Then maybe someone finds this very clip, and that's it. I'll be cancelled. But now becoming cancelled, I think it's become like a feather in your cap. I actually think it's become like it's not a dubious distinction anymore. If anything, you should feel proud of it, of being cancelled. Yeah. और बोलो क्या चल रहा है आस्था?
No, I completely agree. I mean, I think open debate has gone out the window. It's not about which side someone falls in. It's about the fact that speech itself is being curtailed. People aren't being able to speak what they feel like,
Is this
what they
true?
believe in.
Is this true? Am I not letting you speak what you feel like? Is this true?
No, that's not true. That's not
Thank
true.
you,
I'm looking at the
Astha.
questions coming in. I'd rather
Thank
let you
you.
speak more.
Any TV show, movie recommendation, bro? I do not watch too many TV shows. I do not watch movies at all. Maybe that's something I could change in 2022. I can count on my fingers on one hand the number of TV shows that I watched. I watched Two and a Half Men. I've actually mentioned this on a few of my previous live streams. Two and a Half Men, The Office, both the UK as well as the US version. I watched all of Friends, and I watched All or Nothing. I watched Tottenham Hotspur wala All of Nothing. I watched Man City wala All or Nothing, and I've seen a couple of episodes of Juventus ka All or Nothing as well. But recently, this was like 4 days back, I was watching this one show on Netflix. It's called Bad Sport. So it basically talks about these match fixing scandals, these controversies that have taken place in sport. And so I was watching an episode that talked about the saga surrounding Juventus's relegation from the Serie A in 2004 because of like some shady, dubious shit that was going on behind the scenes in terms of them actually paying certain referees, such that decisions could go in their favor. So that's a good one. It was a 1 hour episode. If you're a football fan, if you're a Juventus fan or a football fan in general, that's something you'd enjoy as well. There's one episode on cricket as well, surrounding the Hansi Kronia match fixing scandal. So that's another one that you could add to your watch later list. Yeah. और बताओ.
I don't have much to add there. I don't watch any TV or movies either. The
Man,
only time I saw a few.
I'm not saying
Yeah.
add. I'm just saying add. Say whatever. Like, we don't have to stick to a script. We don't have to. You can say whatever the fuck you want to say.
Parasite was probably the last movie I saw, which won the Oscar. That was a great movie.
Astha Didi, did you take science in class 12, 11 and 12? Astha Didi took commerce.
Astha Didi took the easy way out.
Anubhav Bhaiya took the harder one, took science. लेकिन अब देखो जिंदगी में तरक्की कौन कर रहा है?
This is why Astha Didi still struggles with physics.
नहीं, लेकिन जिंदगी में तुम तरक्की तो तुम कर रही हो ना.
Keep
Struggling is
smoothie
me.
jars, glass smoothie jars in the freezer overnight. wake up and find it cracked.
Struggling is me, yaar.
Basic physics.
Janvi, what is the one, Anubhav, what is the one quality of your sister you really like? Chance for you to praise her. Mm, um,
Janvi.
I would actually love to write a book on it, let alone one quality. I would love to write a book on on uh, on my sister's remarkable qualities that I find very impressive. But the length of that book would be 0 pages, though.
Would be.
uh, but jokes apart, I talked about this. In fact, I was mentioning this to mummy, and I think I briefly had a conversation with Astha about this as well. I think in terms of emotional intelligence, Astha's absolutely top notch. Top notch. I talk a lot. I'm a motor mouth. I'm a chatterbox. I can't stop talking. I'm very impulsive, like talking to people, whatever gives me a kick. But sometimes I get a bit too carried away. Sometimes I end up saying too much. Sometimes I don't know where the line is. I may end up saying something that might be normal for me, but it might be, say, offensive or hurtful for the other person. So I am not too good at taming my urges, as it pertains to social situations. उस हिसाब से Astha is very emotionally intelligent. She does not let her judgment be clouded by emotions. तो उस हिसाब से she's always thinking rationally. She's got a straight head, she's got a very level head above her shoulders, and that's one of the reasons why I call her the wiser and the more mature person. उस हिसाब से I'm the more emotional type. I've definitely gone on my father in many ways, but Astha, I think, is the more rational, the more cool, calm, composed, collected person.
Oof, that's high praise. I mean, I won't say always. I definitely do let my emotions cloud my judgment. Yes. So I would like to always be rational, but that's not always the case.
But
And I
definitely a
think
lot more rational than I
part
am.
of the, I guess maybe the social emotional stability might also be because I'm more introverted than you are. So I just don't enjoy the social interactions as much, maybe.
Yeah, it's similar to what I was saying at the start of the show as well. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. So it's good that you can interact with as many people as possible. I feel at home when I'm talking to people, interacting with people. But sometimes, I remind myself of this. One of the affirmations that I have that I try reading out every single morning is, I'll tell you verbatim. It's talk less, listen, and observe more. And despite the fact that I remind myself of this every single day, it's only lip service that I pay to this. It's only lip service that I pay to this. Powerful people intimidate by talking less, or they talk in vague terms. They're a lot more nebulous with their speech. They don't talk too much, but when they talk, their words hold a lot of weight. That's what powerful people do, and that's one of the reasons why you find them intimidating as well. So that's something for me to work on in 2022. When I baat karo, I don't want to lose my personality, because Anubhav is Anubhav because of what because of whatever, like the stuff that Anubhav says and how he talks. So I definitely don't want to change my character completely, but maybe I can tweak it to some extent by actually talking slightly less, listening and observing a bit more, and giving more of the stage to Astha Jain.
Well, if we're living in the cycle of words speak louder than actions, may as well capitalize on that.
Yeah, that's actually true. But sometimes those words might end up backfiring, as they oftentimes do. So that's that. No voice नहीं आ रही क्या? Param is saying no voice. सबको मेरी कर्कश आवाज और आस्था की मधुर आवाज सुनाई दे रही है? सुनाई दे रही है ना सबको? Yeah.
I can hear you.
Do you still smoke, Akash? On my birthday on the 7th of December, I did smoke up on my birthday, and I wasn't feeling too proud about that, to be completely honest with you. And जो भी हम लोग का बहुत transparent relationship है, मेरे और जो भी मेरे subscribers के बीच में. So I'll say this to you, otherwise I wouldn't have said it. लेकिन I did end up smoking up on my birthday. Felt a bit guilty, got carried away. I won't call it peer pressure, because peer pressure will make it seem as if I'm blaming it on others. Like, it's not that people were holding a gun to my head and forcing me to do it. But jo bhi, got a bit carried away. ठीक है, lesson learned. Since then, I've been clean. I've been very clean. And yeah, like the occasional time I might end up smoking, but in terms of like regular things or smoking cigarettes, no, I've completely cut that out. Yeah. But आस्था दो, she तो अब ये लाइव जैसे ही खत्म हो जाएगा ना, एक जलाएगी. है ना? अरे अभी चला ले ना आस्था, अभी चला ले.
Cigarettes get my
आ-
nicotine,
आस्था actually आस्था
get my focus
ये
boost from it.
focus boost plus Astha feels as if she's become Shahrukh Khan when she's smoking. मतलब बस काम करती रहती है, दिन भर workaholic है और cigarette फूकती रहती है. That's what Astha does. Mom
Yeah.
is watching. Mom is watching the live stream from third room. Satvik, देखो, you might be scandalized about some of the things that is on my live stream because there is a possibility that mom might be watching. But as I said early on in the live stream, I am best friends with my mom. I'm best friends with my mom. There are very scandalous things that my mom knows about me. So I have absolutely no issues if she sees this. It's a testament to the relationship that we have. Yeah. Astha, Didi, please tell us some fun facts about your career.
Some fun facts about my career. Well, I think the funnest part was taking 3 months off between two of my finance jobs. I basically traveled a bit in the US. I did a meditation retreat, which I'm not so sure if is that fun for people. And I also visited communist farm, which was an interesting experience. But that was the fun part about my career. And then I guess the other fun part was that when COVID started, I was basically traveling for a year and a half while working remotely. So that was pretty fun to work remotely and not have to go into the office, not have to walk through New York streets and go in for my private
Yeah.
equity job at that time. Well, I'm at a startup now, so I've transitioned from finance to startups, which has also been extremely fun, actually.
Yeah. Disaster. अब चलो mood थोड़ा हल्का करते हैं. After every serious question, I think we ought to introduce some comic relief as well. So random guy, dude, you've been bloody brilliant with your questions, mate. You've been bloody brilliant. I expect the same feisty and interesting and enterprising questions during future live streams as well. Disaster, drink or smoke?
Astha does not smoke or drink.
Listen,
Probably
Astha.
one of the worst
Oh
few things
shit.
you can be doing for your
अरे यार,
longevity.
एक चीज तो मैं भूल गया. एक चीज तो मैं
No
भूल
straight
गया यार.
answers?
नहीं, एक चीज तो मैं भूल गया. Like at the start of the stream, you were
Bolo.
supposed to say मैं जो बोलूंगी, सच के सिवा कुछ नहीं बोलूंगी. तुमने वो ओथ नहीं लिया,
Oh,
इसलिए अब तुम झूठ बोल रही
अब
हो.
अब भूल गए तो अब मैं कुछ नहीं कर सकती.
Asked the opinion on Vipassana. I think Vipassana वो जो 10-day meditation retreat की थी, I think उसकी वजह से Asta has developed a lot of emotional intelligence. I think maybe she would attribute some of it to that experience of hers.
Yeah, no, I mean 100% actually. I probably would. I think I've done it twice. My first one was quite therapeutic, and I'm just laughing at the next comment.
Same.
But
Go on.
also, it made me it almost made me stress free for a long, long, long time. But I think
Wait.
it's great to just clear up your head as well.
The made you stress free. The Vipassana or the psychedelics?
Both. Let's say both. The two go hand in hand.
You bloody hippies! I tell you, I'm so glad about the fact that I'm a conservative. You hippies! Oh my god!
Conservatives don't try psychedelics. I don't know that.
Nah, no alcohol, no cigarettes, none of that. Just religion, orthodox. That's it. That's how I am. Please recommend some books. Astha is the bookworm. She is the bookworm. Astha, you recommend some books, but Astha also has very radical choices when it comes to books. Astha की एक दो book recommendations मैं पढ़ने की कोशिश किया हो, लेकिन 1 page in, 2 pages in, that's it. I'm in deep slumber. Deep slumber तो क्या? I've entered hibernation. तो इसलिए please recommend some books, Anubhav, to take this with a मैं भी recommend करूंगा, but आज तक की जो recommendations है, please take it with a grain of salt, unless of course you're suffering from chronic insomnia, in which case you should definitely take Astha's book recommendations very, very seriously. तुम्हारी insomnia 2 minute में दूर हो जाएगी.
I mean, I think they're fantastic books. Last time I'd mentioned some Ayn Rand books. I think Robert Greene has amazing books.
Robert
I
Greene की
also
सब books
mentioned
पढ़ो. सब लोग Robert Greene की books पढ़ो. The Laws of Human Nature, 48 Laws of Power. उसकी एक नई
Mastery,
book निकली है, The
Daily Laws.
Daily Laws Mastery. But if you want to start with Robert Greene, start with the Laws of Human Nature. After you finish Laws of Human Nature, move to 48 Laws of Power. They're big books, they're fat books, but they're fucking Bibles, and that's one of the reasons why I always keep them right next to me. Always keep them
Well,
right next to you.
I'd also add, I think, for the ones who are asking career questions, Robert Greene's book Mastery had a huge impact on how I
Yeah,
think about work and
yeah,
life.
yeah.
So I'd highly recommend that book.
Yeah, if you're someone,
Uh,
if you're someone who wants to figure out what his or her calling in life is, or at least start the process of figuring out what your calling in life is, then mastery is definitely right down your alley.
Richard Feynman's Surely You're Joking, Mr. Feynman too is a brilliant read. It's just a funny read, a few stories. I love Ayn Rand too, Sathwik. Isaac Asimov is the other one, and I'm reading another science fiction book right now. Actually, Neil Stephenson's new book. It's too soon, so not sure yet, but it's a good read so far.
A good book that I would recommend to that I think would be relatable to everyone, to every single person, is The Almanac of Naval Ravikant. I'm pretty sure you guys have heard of Naval Ravikant. He's a practical philosopher, a brilliant practical philosopher. He's actually like a Silicon Valley guy, but he's also a practical philosopher. A beautiful book, The Almanac of Naval Ravikant, talks about his philosophy on life, on wealth, on happiness, and everything that he says, everything that he writes is so simple to comprehend, yet has so much profundity, and I think those are like the best of works. They're very simply written, but have like a very profound effect on you. So that's a book that I would definitely suggest as well. The Almanac of Naval Ravikant. There are parts that are highlighted after reading it for the first time that I still continue to draw inspiration from. Not sure if it's had like a positive effect on me as well, because I'm the same namuna that I was. Lekin you could give it a shot.
100% couldn't recommend it more. Also, speaking of Naval, he's spoken very highly of The Beginning of Infinity by David Deutsch, who is a physicist. I read the book as well, finished it a few months ago. Brilliant book. It's quite a dense read, but it definitely changed my thinking. It's one of those books that I think changed how I view the world. So 100% recommend it.
For me, favorite holiday, none of them. Like my version, I keep
Home.
my version of a holiday is घर में बैठो, कुछ अच्छा खाना वाना बनाओ या order करो, एक साथ बस गप्पे मारो. That is my version of a holiday. My version. Like, I don't care where you sit me down, as long as I have good company, some good food, and good conversation. And when I say good conversation, I am the source of the good conversation. Then that's it. That is it. That is paradise for me. Boss, that is paradise for me. Fasta, it's different. She's quite the globetrotter. She was in Mumbai for holidays. From Mumbai, she went to Udaipur as well. And now I don't know. God knows what next trip she's planning. It's different Fasta.
It's been a lot of traveling the last 2 years. I think I'm ready to lay low for a bit now. But it's probably just being in a quiet place, reading and playing some tennis would be
Oh
my
no,
version of a
that
holiday.
means I'll have to. She's laying low. I'll have to see more of
Trying to
Astha.
be.
Question for all of you. You guys should do podcast. Question for all of you. So, देखो, it's no secret, right, that I enjoy conversation, right? And I'm good at conversing with people as well. अब कैसा फॉर्मेट मुझे इंट्रोड्यूस करना चाहिए पॉडकास्ट के साथ? Like, what type of podcast should I be doing? Should I be doing solo podcasts, or should I be doing podcasts with guests, or maybe just Astha and me doing like a whatever weekly podcast, or maybe all of the above? Tell me what kind of podcast you think would suit my style, my interests, my strengths, and at the same time, and more importantly perhaps, bring benefit to the people who might be watching or viewing that podcast. I want to know your opinions. I seriously want to know your opinions, because मैं हर समय सोचा podcast करना है, and मैं थोड़ी किया भी हूँ अपने channel में, but I don't know if I've cracked the format. Like, what's the best way for me to do this? So should I do this with Astha, with other guests, solo, all of the above? What do you think? If you have any creative ideas in mind in terms of what kind of podcast I could do, then please let me know in the comment section. Okay? Yeah. Lovely, guys. Cool. It's been over 1.5 hours. This was meant to be a cameo appearance from Astha Jain, but she gave us like a solid 30 plus minutes of her time. So we are definitely immensely grateful, highly indebted to Astha. But let's do this. Let's please do a proper Astha. Let's please do a proper live stream before you head back to America. Okay? So before you go to America, I think कब जा रही हो? You're leaving on the 18th of this month.
The 18th, that's right.
The 18th of this month. Na? So before
Of
that, let's
right.
let's do a proper live stream, 1 घंटा 2 घंटा जितना भी करना है, just you and I mean just you and I as in like you and I talking with everyone else present as well, you know, like people commenting, asking us questions. I think that's going to be fun, you know. It's a tradition that we maintained you know, in the past, so I think we should maintain that going forward as well. But maza aaya guys,
You
thank you
can,
so much. Go.
sure, you can call my secretary and try to find some time on my calendar.
I'll do that. Is your secretary hot?
Her voice is quite raspy and odd.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you know, given how deprived I am, I think I'll have to make do with someone's voice only. You know. Anyway, this was fun. Hope you guys enjoyed it. A live stream after a long time. My intention was just to, you know, catch up, have a casual conversation. Hopefully, you know, I did succeed in that endeavor of mine, and hopefully, you know, you guys enjoyed this conversation. Thank you to everyone who sent in questions in advance. Thank you to everyone who sent questions during the live stream. Of course, you know, given the nature of live streams, especially when there are like quite a few people who are watching, it becomes difficult to take all questions. So my apologies, you know, my sincere apologies to people whose questions I may have inadvertently overlooked. But still, main dekhunga. I'll watch the replay of the live chat, and if I can respond to you, you know, in retrospect, then I'll definitely do that. But a big thank you again. We'll definitely do more of these. If you want more of these, then let me know. I had a blast, absolute blast. You know, मैं gym से आया, I didn't even have my dinner. I was excited for this. मैं जल्दी से setup कर रहा था, वो सब किया. Now I'm hungry, I'm ravenous, but that's not the reason I'm quitting the live stream. जो भी अभी आस्था मम्मी सबके साथ catch up करूंगा. But absolutely loved it. Thank you so much to all of you. भूलना मत आस्था का YouTube channel, आस्था का Instagram, subscribe कर लो मेरे channel को if you haven't done that already. Notification की घंटी भी बजा देना. My Instagram is Anubhav के Anubhav. If you haven't checked out my ebook on investment banking, that's something you could check out as well. You'll see the link in the description. If you want to schedule a one-on-one with me, you'll find the link in the description for you to be able to do that. Okay. अब अपना खुद का, you know, वो trumpet बजाना बंद करूंगा. I won't do any more self promotion. But yeah, parting words. A big thank you from me as well as from Astha, and look forward to your company again very soon. Until next time, take care, stay safe, keep smashing it, and cheers.
Bye.
Bye. Good night, Saurav. Good night, everyone. Cheers.